Night 2 of the first back-to-back game of this 25-26 season. Washington welcoming in the Dallas Mavs, who they got a win against back in late October in Dallas tonight. The Mavericks showed up with a bit of revenge on their mind. Wizards actually got out to an early 16-15 point lead, got it back in the third quarter. Helped, of course, by C.J. McCollum leading this young group. But it was the fourth quarter where things began to take a turn in the Mavs' favor. Final score 111-105. We officially welcome you in the Vantage Studios here at Monumental Sports Network for Wizards Postgame Live, presented by Robinhood. Wes Hall here with Jason Smith and John Wall for the first time this season. Glad to have you here. Of course, John, let's get into some basketball talk. I can get into the accolades, but I want to talk about the action more so. Let's get into the fourth quarter because that was Washington's lowest scorer of the night, 19 points to the 29 for Dallas. Tell me what you guys saw just as the closing moments of this game were happening. Whoever wants to go first, find me.
Well, I think they didn't do a great job of moving the ball. They went 7 for 23 from the field and 2 for 9 from 3. So I think it was just too much stagnant, not enough ball movement, not enough guys getting shots up. So they kind of got stagnant. You got to give credit to Dallas. They stepped their defense up and got a lot of steals in the fourth quarter.
Jason?
You know, for me, I think it was spacing on the offensive end. When you say stagnation, they didn't have the proper spacing. Coming down in transition, too many guys on one side of the basketball, not enough spacing to go out there and get the job done. If you're trying to move the basketball or have a pick-and-roll opportunity, the defense is just sitting right there in your lap. In that fourth quarter, they didn't put in winning plays. I mean, you had a great first half from C.J. McCollum, 23 points. He didn't have it going in the fourth quarter. He tried to force the issue a little bit. Bub Carrington actually had a pretty good, decent fourth quarter, but overall the Wizards just couldn't find a way to win on their home floor.
In that fourth, again, to their point, 3 turnovers for Washington, but it came along with 4 blocks, too. So in one side, you're getting some defensive stops, but you're not stopping possessions and plays. And I'm curious, John, how do you balance that out? Because I saw a lot of guards down in the paint. And it worked both ways. So what were you seeing?
Well, even before you get to that point, in the second half, I said you got to do a better job of fast break.
Yes.
They gave up 17 in the second half, one more than what they had in the first half.
Wow.
But you got to give a lot of credit to Williams and Najee Marshall.
Yeah.
Those two guys got it going for them in the fourth quarter and put them in position where they was able to get a win.
Yes.
And made the little things happen. And they went small ball. They put P.J. Washington at the 5.
Dangerous, dangerous, dangerous. Why is that dangerous, though?
Small ball, it's hard to guard because you think you can go out there and guard 1 through 5, switching on all the pick and rolls. But for them, P.J. Washington, he's a dangerous player, especially tonight. But also, Najee Marshall coming off the bench and really showing out, hey, I've got it going offensively. Keep feeding me the basketball. He had an even production throughout all four quarters. He did a really good job. You got to give him credit. Dallas did a really good job of continuing to feed him the ball. But if you're the Wizards, you got to realize who has the hot hand and try and stop them.
Indeed. Now, I want to take that same thought and flip it and put it on us here because I wrote down defensive switches as we were watching that fourth quarter. John, you're smiling because we were sitting here talking about it the whole time you're calling it out. Tell the fans at home what you were witnessing. We were talking about how the Mavs were trying to exploit certain matchups to get to the one that they were looking for.
Well, the main one, they were trying to get C.J. McCollum or whoever the ball handler was. And when they went small, you seen P.J. Washington get a couple extra rebounds. They threw it to him in the post. He was able to score on him. And then they tried to triple switch one time, and it didn't really work too well.
So unpack the triple switch for people at home.
Well, because C.J. McCollum get the switch, and you have a guy in the corner, Cam Whitmore's guarding somebody in the corner. He rotated to go get P.J. Washington, and then C.J. ran to the corner guy. But it puts you in a lot of rotations where somebody can go back door, or now Cam Whitmore's on the backside of on the backside of P.J. Washington, and he has inside position for offensive rebound.
Now, Jason, we are now 10 games into the season. Is part of that not lack of communication, just not communicating, and lack of necessarily guys playing with certain units because you have a CJ on the court with the Cam, who's on with the Trey. Like, is that part of the equation where that necessarily breakdown types of happen?
Well, that's the fluidity of the lineups. You're going to have odd lineups out there. They're going to go out there and play a version of some small ball. You don't have traditional bigs out there. It's tough to go out there and play with people on the floor when you haven't had a lot of practice time. You're going off of a back-to-back. You're tired. There's a lot of factors that go into it, but NBA brand of basketball, there's 5 people on the floor, you figure it out. You got to go out there on the fly and figure it out. I think tonight they did that for the most part. They stayed within grasp of trying to win the game. They just couldn't get the job done at the end.
So, John, beyond CJ, because obviously he has the most experience of everybody that was on the court, when you're looking at the younger players down the stretch of that moment, where are they mentally? What are they looking to try to accomplish in those moments?
Well, I think the most important thing is you got to compete.
Okay.
That's one. But I think with practice, it would help them out a lot. But being a low man, we talked about it. They low man being there, being a young guy, you don't know if you want to be in there or out. So if your rotations are messed up, you're going to be all over the place. But it all starts with the low man. Whoever that is, you have to communicate. And you could tell in the fourth quarter when the offense wasn't going, their defense dropped a little bit. You know, when you're making shots, your defense is going to be at a high level.
Right. See, I love looking back at that fourth quarter because we talk about learning opportunities and development. And again, nobody's cool with losing. But as Chris said during the game, there's a lot of learning that's happening in real time in pressure moments. Dallas wanted to win this game. They wanted to avoid the season sweep. Matter of fact, the teams, this two matchup, it's been a sweep each season from back to 2020-21. So I know what Dallas wanted to do, get their payback and get their get back. I want to look back at the third quarter, though. The third quarter, as Chris says all the time, we were cooking with grease, were we not?
Yes.
I was liking what I saw in the third quarter, John. I mean, look, 33 points, escalating from 24 in the first, 29 in the second, 33 in the third. And why I was saying that is because when we were at halftime, you guys both addressed what they needed to do, and then they went out and did it, John.
Yeah, I think, for one, Alex Hart got aggressive.
Yes.
They gave him the ball a lot more. He got a lot more aggressive. And also, you got to give credit to Cam Whitmore. Coming off the bench, he got it going. You know what I mean? Cam Whitmore had 11. Alex Hart had 10 in the third quarter. So that gave him the momentum, got him going. You see Sarr step up defensively, make plays, and they had the lead.
Yeah.
So I know having the lead going into the fourth quarter, you're kind of down that you let this game slip away.
Jason?
Yeah, I completely agree with what he just said. Sarr got going with 10 points in the fourth quarter. You had Najee Marshall. He was continuing to be aggressive on the Dallas side. But Cam, 11 points. He did a really good job of staying aggressive. He was getting the opportunity to have good playing time. Yeah. Why not go out there and be aggressive on the offensive end? That's what he's known for doing. He knocked down a couple threes. He was getting to the basket. There's a couple points where I thought that he would get a couple calls to go to the free throw line. He didn't necessarily get to the free throw line that much. He had 2 free throws today, and he was what we know him as, aggressive offensively. He did a really good job of hanging in there, getting the Wizards back into it. They went into halftime down, come out of the third quarter, going into the fourth. You got a lead. You got to learn to keep the lead on your home floor.
And who would be the responsible person for helping the guys on the 5 on the court lock into that mentality?
You know, I think it was CJ.
Yeah.
He's got to go out there, especially in the first half. He did just that. He scored 23 points.
After putting up 20
Exactly.
yesterday.
He did a really good job in the first half, helped the young guys go out there and finish the game. Now, granted, he was getting exploited on the defensive end in that fourth quarter. They were trying to switch and put him on the ball. Not necessarily a bad thing. We saw him play great defense on Cooper Flagg. He held his ground. He did a really good job. But if you're going to go out there, teach these young guys how to win games at the end of the game. Great ball movement. Very, very good offensive plays. You got to go out there and do your bread and butter plays and get it to the person who's hot.
I want to go ahead and give C.J. McCollum our Clark Construction Hard Hat Player of the Game because, again, if you have a 20-point performance last night against Cleveland, you come in tonight, you put up what? Again? How many points did he put up tonight, Jason? 25 points in 33 minutes, 9 for 19 from the floor, 2 for 6 from deep. However, it was the 6 rebounds, also 2 dimes. He gave you 2 steals and 2 blocks. John, your assessment on a guy who's played this many years in the league, who's still able to find multiple ways to impact the game.
Well, you know, I mean, he's a microwave. He's a guy that can get buckets at any time he wants to. I mean, he played with Damian Lillard in the backcourt before. Those two was a great tandem. So I think with him, he's seen in the first half, they were struggling offensively to get it going, and he got it going. He kept them in the game, and then some other guys stepped up. I just wish he could have kept it going in the second half, only to give you 2 points after 23 in the first half. I wish he would have kept it going more, but he did a great job, so you got to give him credit the way he played tonight.
And again, you see the matchup right here, dealing with Cooper Flagg. Go ahead, John.
Well, you know right here, like, when you're a vet, you don't want a rookie coming in thinking he can post you up.
Mm-hmm. Old man strength, John. It's that old man strength.
But we always got to show our strength in the post.
Yes.
So I like the way that he competed there. Mm-hmm. You have to do that same when you're on the perimeter.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think that's where the challenge kind of got to them tonight. Even though he played a great game, they challenged him on the perimeter to get stops, and they was able to get into the paint and make plays.
It's so impactful for young players to be able to learn in real time, Jason, to John's point. Like, you and Tony did a display about Alex Sarr being able to defend and having proper position in the post. Now you're watching CJ show guards how to deal with bigger guys down in the post. What can a guy like Trey Johnson take from watching CJ defend on ball to Cooper? What can Bub take from that? Feel free.
Holding your ground. You got a bigger player.
Ground.
You got to get low. That low center of gravity for a bigger player. You're taller, but you can't move the player. They've got that base down there. John used to love guarding me in practice. He's like, you're too tall. You can't move me.
But you got to fight, though. You got to fight for your
real work down.
Yes.
You just can't let them push you under the basket. You have to fight and hold your own. And you know me as a guard, you take the pride in trying to get a stop on the big man. It's the same as if they switch out on me on the perimeter. They're like, okay, we don't need no help.
Right.
I got this one.
And then you're like, I will show you.
Yes.
I will show you what you think you got. I want to give some flowers out to another guy tonight because last night he played 5 minutes. And Chris Miller mentioned this during the game, his ability to bounce back. And as Coach Keefe said, it wasn't a him thing. It was he wanted to take a closer look at Jameer Watkins. Cam Whitmore in 29 minutes, 19 points. He won't dunk on everybody in the building.
Yep.
I'm just talking about the points that he scored. 3 for 6 from deep, 3 boards, and he only had 1 foul. But more importantly, his ability to stay on ball attacking, John. There's a motor that this young man has that just cannot get cut off.
Well, we know offensively he's gifted. There's nothing he can't do offensively. I think the most important thing with him is just staying locked in, competing on both ends of the floor. I mean, take the shots when they're there, the good ones. But like I said, most important, the young guy, sometimes you're going to get minutes, sometimes you're not. But stay locked in, continue to do the work, go through the progression, and make sure you compete on both ends of the floor. You continue to get those minutes.
Question for you, because obviously you had a ton of athleticism, still get buckets. It is what a TI is. I'm curious at how you let a guy like Cam find balance between what he is naturally gifted with while not also using that athleticism as a crutch.
Well, I think you've seen it tonight. When he attacked the rim a couple of times, he got blocked a couple of times. He was looking like, where's the foul?
Right.
But and when you get to this top of the NBA level, it's other guy that's just as athletic as you.
Right.
So those are times where he could have stopped, shot a floater,
Yep.
could have shot a mid-range, or even created something for somebody else. So what he done was great, being aggressive, attacking the paint. But I also know you can't dunk on everybody.
No matter how much you want to. Oh, Jason, now comes the other conversation. I'm going to use you for the big man, Alex Sarr. Why? Because Alex Sarr in 31 minutes tonight, 5 for 6 from the charity stripe, 6 rebounds, 5 assists. Only 2 fouls. We're going to get to that part. That's where I want to go with this. He gave you 2 steals and 3 blocks, but he had 17 points. Alex Sarr had the challenge of dealing with everything and anything in the paint. They sent big men at him. They sent little men at him. They sent people at the concession stands at him. The way that he had to go to work tonight to get those 17 points and only have 2 fouls, your assessment, sir.
You know, the biggest thing for me is that he remained aggressive in the first half, but when he got dunked on by Cisse, it's like something was activated. He got going aggressively on offense. It wasn't that everything went out the window, but you kind of saw it. There was a fire in his eyes that he wanted to go out there and prove a point. Like, you're not just going to dunk on me and I'm just going to take that. I'm going to go back at you. I'm going to block shots. I'm going to be aggressive, getting to the rim. And to go against Daniel Gafford, he's sitting there in the paint the entire time using great footwork. He's doing a really good job. He actually got some fouls tonight. I'm excited about that. That lets me know that he's being aggressive out there. He's not out of position hardly ever. It's just you want to have that physicality as a big. You want to set that tone, and I think that he had that tonight.
John, the fact that Alex Sarr had to go to work tonight against a guy like Daniel Gafford, who knows everything Alex Sarr wants to do, and also likes to block shots. Both of them can touch the top of the backboard. What do you think about how Alex is growing and developing, knowing that teams have the scout on him and they know what he wants to do, and he's still being able to perform?
Well, I like the progression he's made since the offseason. Coming into his second year, we know he can shoot the ball. We know he can block shots. I think he was levels ahead of what he was defensively, what he was offensively. But now what he's doing offensively, he's not scared to get into the paint. Right. I like that he got down there, tried to be physical, make some little hook shots. So those are the things you want to see.
Yes. We
know what he can do defensively. His 3 didn't fall tonight, but he didn't fall in love with it. He went and attacked the basket. And that third quarter got him some momentum. But like Jason said, once you get dunked on as a shot blocker, your antennas go up.
Oh my gosh, does it ever?
Oh, you said it like somebody's dunking you.
Oh my, well, hey, whoa,
I
got a 360 layup on me.
Fair enough. Jason Smith, John Wall, thank you guys for this preliminary breakdown, because we got plenty more here coming on Postgame Live. But I think looking at this game, regardless of the final score, we were able to learn a lot about this team. It was a good test for them. On the other side, Coach Keefe's going to be at the postgame podium, so we'll definitely be all ears for that. But I also want to remind you that you can watch the Beltway Football Postgame Pod live on Monumental Sports Network YouTube channel Sunday night after the Commanders take on the Detroit Lions. You can join J.P. Finley and Mitch Tischler as they give their instant reaction and break down all the action from the game. It's funny, Detroit football games in D.C., and then the Wizards are about to take a trip to Detroit. Why don't we go 2-0 and be done with it?
I thought our overall team defense was great tonight. We did, after the first quarter, we were terrific. I thought we fouled a little bit there, but when we got our defense set and kept them out of transition, our defense was pretty good.
I know three-point shooting hasn't been a strength of Dallas's, but a much better performance for you guys than last night. What was the difference for you on the perimeter?
Just our scramble, our contesting, our flying around, our multiple efforts. That's the stuff I was really pleased with. We continue to do these things. We're going to keep growing as a team. And like I said, being in these situations is great for our guys. They're learning to grow in these things, how to manage leads, how to play down the stretch, all great stuff.
Oh, and you went with Malachi again. What have you noticed about him so far this year?
Yeah, he was ready to go, and JC got in foul trouble, got 4, so we needed an extra guy to come in. Again, it's just another example of guys who are ready. He's doing a great job behind the scenes, keeping himself in shape, and his game sharp. And I thought he had really positive minutes tonight. Good for him.
You alluded to this before. What did you see from your team's offense there in the fourth quarter, and why did it get stagnant?
They were switching. They were switching everything. They went small. Sometimes you can get stagnant in that a little bit. We tried to play a little bit of one-on-one. But these are the lessons when the game in the fourth quarter for both teams can usually slow down. Can you execute your stuff? Can you run your actions that you want? Being in those situations is great for us. What can we learn from those? What can we grow? Now we can look at the film. Those are the things that are really positive. Getting into those situations are going to carry off big time down the road.
And how do you want your team to attack a switching defense in that situation next time you encounter it?
We got multiple things. Obviously, I'm not going to give away too much of that, but usually when you're in situations with that, you want to ball and player movement. You can get stagnant because that's why teams switch. I felt like we actually were able to get in the paint. We maybe could have kicked out a few more, but give them credit.
Hi, Coach. You mentioned that in this game that you were pretty pleased with the fact that they gave physicality and were aggressive. What would be the next step in terms of the mission that you guys are having this season for the next game coming up?
Keep building on that. Keep this the consistent thing to how we play. Keep making this something that we can do for longer and for better. That's the goal for us. Those are the important things. That was a good step tonight.
Hi, Coach. I know Bub's been struggling the last couple games, except tonight. He's trying to show that he's getting a little bit of his groove. What's something that you've been telling him to try to feel comfortable in his role? I know it's a little different than last year.
I think he's been growing the way he should. We've asked him to become a better defender. He's been defending terrific. Now he's playing with a different unit, and those are all things that take some time. He was actually made some key plays down the stretch of our game, hit Alex on the roll, different kickouts, spray outs for shooters, but this is part of the maturation process for him. Being in these pressure situations, learning how to run the team when he's the main handler out there, all good stuff, like where Bub's going.
Tactical question for you.
Coach Brian Keefe at the post-game podium. Welcome back to Wizards Post-Game Live, presented by Robin Hood, West Hall, Jason Smith, John Wall, all on site. And excited to keep this conversation going because now, guys, I want to pick your brain. I can't tell you, over 25 years of NBA experience sitting next to me, I'm going to ask some real questions. Fast break points. I want to know not the numbers. Wizards had 11, Dallas had 33. I want a conversation about functionality, about how this team can get from one half. You get the turnover. You're out moving, you're out running. But then when they get across half court, finishing it. How do they maximize finishing it from a bigs and from a guard's perspective?
From a big perspective, all I got to do is try and run the floor. You better give me the ball if I'm running the floor. But as a guard, you want to make sure that you're going out there, putting pressure on the defense. I think for me, I would follow his mindset. I would just try and run as fast as I possibly could just to keep up with him, one.
Yeah.
But two, also getting into the right space, making a nice wide floor, giving your guard a space to get to the rim, get to the opportunity to pass you the ball in the corner, mind you. This is what John Wall was really good at, getting down the floor within 2 to 3 seconds, finding your spots, but being there available. If he gets into trouble, you got to be there. You got to be a dump-off pass as a big, or you got to have somebody in the corner for an
So
outlet.
you're working without the ball. You're working with
I
it.
think most importantly, whoever the guard is, get to the middle of the floor.
Yeah.
Get to the middle of the floor so you know your guys can run the wing, run the outside. And nowadays, a lot of guys want to run to the three-point line.
Right.
If it's a 2-on-1, 3-on-1 back fast break, somebody got to get to the basket. But the main thing is just keeping pressure on the defense at all times. And sometimes Jason would be in the corner or he would be the trail because he can make a trail 3 or he can make the trail mid-range. So most importantly as a guard, just keep pacing to the game. That's all you want to do. Keep pressure on the defense and make sure they understand who they're guarding.
And the only time I was in the corner was if I was like cherry
That was
picking and I
angle
was
pick and
stuck in
roll,
the
man.
corner. He got a rebound
No, that
going
was
100
angle
miles
pick
an
and
hour.
roll. Angle pick and rolls, you was in the corner because I told you the low man on your side think you can't shoot corner threes.
Sir.
He wants to tag the big. So, a little swing pass to the corner for Jay Smith.
Savant.
You know what I'm saying? He's
The
genius.
savant.
I got 2 of you. But I also want to, I'm curious about this, especially when it's dealing with the team with so many young players. Second youngest team in the league. You got 10 guys under 22. The decisiveness, once you've gotten out, cross half court, broke the 3-point line, now you're looking at, do I want to kick it? Do I want to finish? That indecisiveness I'm seeing, how do they work through that?
Well, the indecisiveness, you can't have that. Because when you get past half court, either you're going to vary it out to the right or to the left, and you can call your big in for a drag. That's what the big is always the guy that outlets it to you or take it out is the one trailing. So either you can swing it to him and go to a delay action to the other side, or you just call him into a drag pick and roll, and you can keep your offense going.
Jason, I'm liking what I'm hearing. I want to see this in action because now you're looking at a Detroit Pistons team in a couple of days. That's a different matchup, and you're going to have to figure that out when you get up there. For that reason, go ahead, Joe.
Yeah, I think so. Most importantly, like now, the league is 4 or 5 guards out there. Whoever get the rebound is pushing the pace.
Yep.
So now you got to realize, okay, if I'm the guard, I got to run the lane. With me, it was easy. Either I got it or Brad got it, and we kept it going. Now you can got your 4-man, 3-man, 2-man, a point guard.
Everybody.
Getting the rebound, you got to go. So most important, just get out there, and that's why you got to be at practice and learn every position, just not your position.
Jason, when you were as a big man, to the point of knowledge of where everybody's supposed to be, your legs are burning, your chest is burning, and you know you're also the primary defensive back.
Oh, calm down. Go ahead.
He's like, finish the question, don't let. No, I'm just saying, I'm thinking about a guy like Alex Sarr, who has to cover a lot of mileage when he's running up and down and making sure he's in the right space. How does he allow for space for a guy like Keyshawn George, who if Keyshawn is not the primary, but he's running with him, how do they make sure they keep enough space on the court so allow the guard or the primary ball handler to have the decision-making?
Well, you got to think in a traditional mindset for myself, if I'm blocking a shot or getting a rebound, I'm outletting it. I'm not pushing it up the floor. But for Alex Sarr, he has the ability, he can block the shot, get the rebound, push it in transition, and then he has to have that decision-making ability, which he fully does. But for me, I was blocking the shot, I was letting the rebound, I was getting it to this guy right here. We were going full court, and if they didn't do something on the offensive end, I was huffing and puffing trying to get in there for a drag screen and then rolling my butt to the basket. But for me, I love the fact that there's interchangeable parts in this offense. It doesn't matter who brings the ball up the floor. Obviously, Keyshawn has done a really good job of maintaining that ability to be in the pick and roll, but getting defensive stops and pushing it in transition, utilizing Sarr in that pick and roll activity and making good decisions of either dumping it off to him, attacking the rim, getting to the free throw line, or popping it to the corner. So there's lots of different options. You just got to figure out on the fly what you're going to do in that moment.
Last question about this subject for you, John. You were fast. Everybody wants to play fast. Sometimes you can run fast into a brick wall. How do you guys measure pace in that? Again, trying to learn the game as they're having it early in their careers. We're only 10 games in.
Well, when I looked at it, when I got the ball, if it's 1 or 2 guys back, okay, I like my chances. Nobody's stopping. If it's 3 guys, I'm still pushing the pace, but I can change my tempo anytime. But knowing where your guys are, like I knew Otto Porter was going to be in the corner for 3. I knew Brad might be trailing. I knew Brad might be in the slot. And also at times, Gortat would run ahead and seal. So he's holding the guy off. I just throw it over top, get him an easy one. If your big is running the floor, getting the stops for you and setting the screens, you got to get him easy shots at times.
I love this. Great breakdown. Just a full conversation about the game of basketball with John Wall and Jason Smith here on Wizards Postgame Live. Yes, albeit in the loss to Dallas, that is okay. The amount of learning and opportunities that have come from this game alone, as Coach Keefe said, there is a ton of tape that this young Wizards squad can learn from, and I'm glad that they're going to continue to do it, and we'll be watching our film as well. So we'll take a quick break here on Postgame Live. When we come back, we got a film room coming up with Alex Sarr a little bit later on, but I also want to remind you about B. Mitch and Finley, my guys, Washington football legend Brian Mitchell, and BC veteran DC Sports reporter J.P. Finley. They got the B. Mitch and Finley show. It's weekdays 10 to 2 right here on Monumental Sports Network, so make sure you're watching and streaming at your leisure. We are in Vanda Studios at Monumental Sports Network. Back in a moment.
It's cool to be known as a good basketball player, but it's better to be known as a great person. It's more so about what I do off the court that I care about.
John was her hero.
We couldn't be more proud of his embrace of Washington, D.C.
John Wall continues to show why he is one of the very best we have in our game.
I know how much I love D.C. and how much they love me. It's bigger than basketball.
John Wall with an incredible hang and score.
Around the back, going 120 miles an hour.
Oh, my!
Wall over Kobe Bryant.
He cashes in.
John Wall is in the building.
Wall drives up under the basket and one. Yeah! John Wall star. Incredible.
What a high by Wall for the score.
Wall bangs and scores. Delayed and shoots, scores! Boy, oh boy, was that clutch. Gives it to Wall. Working against Bradley for three. 6 seconds. Wall well beyond the arc for three. It's there! John Wall! What a shot!
The basketball gonna stop bouncing one day for John Wall. I gave everything I had. Blood, sweat, and tears.
Blood, sweat, and tears. Man, it is fun watching those moments. Let's get to our assist of the game brought to you by ZK Sync, and it involves John Wall because we're looking at the assist leaders through the first 100 games played, logging it since 1974. And who stands alone at the top? John Wall with 808 assists in his first 100 games. Bub Carrington in second place with 411. First of all, John, bruh, that's a lot of work. Do the first 100. 808?
I didn't know that. I just told Sticks. I was like, that surprised me. I thought.
Do you know who you threw majority of those assists to?
808.
100 games, first year.
Brad, no,
First year, yeah, first year.
Yeah.
First 100.
Throughout the first year, you had somebody that was getting
I'm
you
about
some
to
good
look it up
assists.
myself.
JaVale,
Yep.
Probably
Andre Black.
JaVale.
Yep.
Nick Young
Black,
had to be in
definitely
some of those.
Yep, 3-point.
Yep.
Nick Young had to be in some of those.
You spent more P&R moves with Blatch that year.
Yeah.
A lot of
Well,
them.
you know, most of our offense, rest in peace, Flip Saunders, was the Timberwolves offense.
Yeah.
It was for the 4-man.
See? That's why I love having this guy here. Just so much
So a
basketball
lot of
knowledge
pick and
between
pops.
the two of y'all, man.
I had to get Dre to not to try to get into his bag, though. I wanted
Right,
to,
like, no, get it and
dribble
then
the
shoot
ball,
the
man.
ball.
Come
Don't
on,
sit there
man.
messing with
But after
the
two dribbles, you mess your assist up, as they say.
Yeah.
Well done. You know what, though? With the other guy that's on that list, Bub Carrington, I want to have a quick conversation about Bub because if you're going to talk about a guard, it's best to have a guard to do so, and you did it at the best of the ability. Looking at what Bub can improve on, groove on, whatever you have, you said something that I think is really worthy of conversation, and that is 3-level scoring. We talked about it in the back.
Yeah.
Would you mind just kind of unpacking that conversation for us again?
Well, for one, Bud has a mid-range down pat. We already know that. But I said for him, it's like be able to knock down threes. Not saying you got to be a great shooter.
Right.
Be able to knock down the open ones, but I was saying 3-level scoring at the rim.
Right.
Get his floater down pack, and I got to give a shout out to a trainer, Chris Johnson in L.A. He works on level 1, level 2, level 3. And Bud had opportunity to shoot a level 3 layup tonight, rimmed in and out. Right. But just to see him work on that, you could tell he's in the gym trying to develop that. So I think once he get more comfortable with that, he'll be fine.
Jason?
You know, doing that in-game experience is tough because not much practice time. They don't get to practice that as much. It's mostly going against the coaches. And for him, he just needs to go out there and shoot it with confidence. I think the biggest thing for him, making sure that you're running the offense, you're working on your own game, but getting 10 toes in the paint. He's doing a really good job so far. Now, granted, he is learning how to play in his current size and form. 3 years ago, he was a lot shorter. Now he's coming in here, he's playing with NBA talent, he's getting into the paint, he's learning how to finish and finish at a high level. I think for him, if he can continue to work on his game, he can go out there and be very, very good.
John, when we think about paint touches and getting 1 or 2 feet in the paint, how important is it for a guy like Bub to make sure that that is an essential part of his game?
I think it's key because you got to think he wasn't as tall like you said years ago. He always worked on getting to the mid-range, and that became his bread and butter. And that shot's going to be there all night. If it's late in the shot clock or in the game and you want to win the game, it's cool to take that shot. But early on in the offense, touch the paint, floaters. Then you start reading your defense and figuring out where you're kicking the passes to. But most important, like me and Sticks just talked about, is when you're in pick and roll, don't worry about the guy guarding you or the big. It's the help side. Can you read those guys and know where to make those right passes and reads to?
What helped you gain your IQ on court to be able to see and read and assess that?
I think for me, it's like I always could score the ball, but I got more excitement than seeing my teammates score. So I knew if I got those guys shots early on in the game, that made the game easy for me. Now you can't double team me.
Right.
Now I can score in transition because other guys has rhythms. Then the fourth quarter come, guess what? You can't leave those guys open because they're known to make an open shot. So I never had to worry about that. So just take your time, watch a lot of film, and then read the second defense. Don't worry about the main defense.
Right. Jason, when you thinking about what John is considering, I'm going to add the responsibility of the big or whoever's that second person in that PR. What are your responsibility to make sure you
I know what my responsibility is. Set a good screen.
What kind of screens do you like to set?
I set
the ones I didn't want to get hit with.
Screens. He hated when I screened him. But then when I was a teammate with him, he had the opportunity to be like, man, Jay frees me up so easily. He didn't have to worry about his defender. He was going downhill at a big, and that's what guards really look forward to doing. They don't want to go against their defender.
No.
They want to go downhill towards the big that's defending them. That way they can see the corners, they can see the wings. It's an awesome vision thing. John had it, Chris Paul had it. I mean, all these guys that are great individual point guards, they have great screen setters. Myself, Gortat. We made sure to get this man open and going downhill because the speed translates to easy layups, dunk opportunities, but also getting your teammates open.
Indeed. Now, let's add another level to this. He's a Baltimore kid. You know the fire and the belly of a Baltimore kid who's ball dominant, who wants to show out every time he touches it. How does he give himself some grace? Because, I mean, he's in his sophomore season. You know, he played all 82 last year. We just showed you the assist numbers that he's had through his first 100. How does he make sure that he gives himself some grace to continue to grow? Because that sophomore year in life is always a little bit more challenging.
Just understand it's a process. Everything's not going to be easy. Take the reps and make sure you're watching film. Make sure you're getting the work in. That's the most important thing. Don't be mad and skip over the steps when you see a film and they be like, oh, that's a turnover. Oh, I don't want to watch that. No, watch the bad things. Don't watch all the good plays.
Right.
Watch the turnovers you had tonight. Watch the turnovers from other games and learn from those. It's not going to be perfect every night. If you're a ball handler, you got the ball 95% of the time, you're going to average maybe 2 or 3 assists. But as long as you're getting your teammates involved and you're making the right plays, you can live with those results.
Bub Carrington tonight, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 9 points in 28 minutes. And I'm looking at how everyone can continue to learn and grow from this moment. Go ahead and break down what you're seeing right here, Jason, about how Bub Carrington, well, actually, you go ahead, John, because you see Bub actually got a corner skip all the way to Keyshawn.
I like that. That was a right read, right?
Yep.
Great play, took his pace getting down in the paint. He even had a lob there if he wanted to the SAR. But that's a great kick-out pass. I think him getting 2 feet into the paint, he's starting to read that and see that. And you'll see a couple other ones early. He made the read a little too early. Make the defense fully commit, and then you make those reads. If they don't stop you, you take your floater, you take your layup at the rim, and then you'll get that progression to grow.
I want to see that clip one more time because a lot of times people get focused, and I'd say naturally so, you're focused on did he make the bucket or not. That wasn't the best part of that play. The part of the play was the read.
Yes.
The read. Why, John?
Because you go back to maybe last year, early in the year, stop right here. He would have shot a mid-range.
Right.
Take one more dribble and make the right read. Now you see the low man in P.J. Washington. He had to come over. If not, you have allowed the SAR, but that's a great read. You're not going to make every shot, but you see yourself on film making the right plays. You go, okay, I can do this. Because you probably thought, can't make those reads.
Right.
Now you see a couple of those go throughout a game. I can't make them if I'm making the right play. Don't live with the results of making a shot.
Right.
You should make the right read.
I like that. See?
He's doing a really good job of letting the play develop. He's doing a really good job of having that maturation process of earlier on last year, he's trying to go out there and score the basketball. He's looking for his mid-range.
Not a question.
He's going a little bit too fast. But now if you play with pace, you let the play develop, like John said, looking at the bottom weak side defender, not reading your own defender, that guy's stuck on a screen. You're going out there reading what the big is doing. Is he committing to you? Is the bottom weak side going to the big? If so, you pass it to the corner. That's the right play. You trust your teammates to go out there and make shots for you.
And John, when you're dealing with guards who, let's say, I'll ask it casually, how many true on-ball point guards are there actually in the league overall, in your opinion? Just that guy's a certified, he's a PG.
Right now?
Right now.
Maybe it's a dying breed.
That's why I'm asking, because I kind of know where the answer was going to go. And the reason I'm asking that is, traditionally, you look at whoever runs the point, that's the point guard, he has these responsibilities. But you got a whole now generation of guys like Bub Carrington that are kind of natural combo guards.
Yeah.
How do they find which side of the street they need to lean to at any given moment, especially as young as he is?
It's tough. It's tough because, like I always say, you can't build a point guard.
Say that again?
Can't build a point guard. Point guard is born. You can try to help a guy become a better point guard and find the reads, but his natural ability is getting to the basket, getting to the mid-range and making his shots. But I think with him just watching film, he can watch me, he can watch Rondo, he can watch Chris Paul, he can watch Halliburton, all those type of guys, and understand how to make those certain reads that he probably couldn't make years ago.
Man, this is good.
See, I can't give you that information. That's
I know,
all.
He's a PG. I've been asking you about SAR. You and Tony done told me all the big man stuff. But when we want to talk about Bub, I'm so thankful that we have you here tonight, John, to really have a discussion about Bub because he can learn a lot, we can learn a lot, and I love the fact that we're zooming in. Again, don't fall in love with just the results of the play. There's some stuff in there in between that can really show you the levels that these guys are taking. So I'm enjoying that.
Yeah, I think everybody has to understand, as fans watching and fans of the Wizards, you have to understand it's a process. Everything's not going to be perfect early on. He's developing to try to be something. So when you see him get to the basket, it might have a game of 5 or 6 turnovers. It's going to happen. He's trying to learn the point guard position at a different level, which is the hardest position to learn coming into the NBA.
Tell him,
and also, he might not be a great finisher now. It's going to take time, but as long as you see the progression of him working on it daily, stick with him. It's going to be a great season and great time for him whenever he figures it out.
Indeed. Great guys that can finish at the rim. Rod Strickland, Gill, yourself. working up to that. So loving that. But since I got John Wall here, why not continue to give him his flowers? Because, I mean, hello, he's here, and you're still a rookie until the end of the year. But as for right now, you're always going to be the Wall star. So let's enjoy just a little bit of flower sharing for John Wall. I'll just go ahead and do it myself. Just some photos. Oh, my gosh, John. Wow.
Look at the baby face.
Look at
what
that.
Is that face, Martin?
Matter of fact, I want you to just tell me what you're seeing as you see these pictures. Just your own in real time.
Progression.
Old bean.
Mouthpiece hanging out. I don't know what I was doing. I'm fighting. I can't let LeBron bully me. He probably took 6 dribbles and I asked for help. Great guard matchup with Chris Paul. I love those type of matchups. Another great guard. You know, all 4 of us right there is from North Carolina.
Shout out.
Jumping over G-Wiz, dunk contest.
Come on.
Community assist. That's the most accepting award I would accept out of all of them, giving back to the community.
Wow.
Me with the on the Ted getting my All-Star jersey. I don't know. This one of the media days. I don't know.
Scrum.
Me probably in the Staples Center enjoying a great game I had. Stars and Stripes.
Best jersey right there. The best jersey.
Everybody keeps going on about
that. All standing on the table. Brad talking about, what are you doing up there?
So, John,
you stood on the table?
Yes.
Yeah, he stood on the table.
Yeah,
you know what? I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to divulge a bit of a secret about that particular moment. So in pregame, I told you that moment has been captured in a variety of ways. So if you get a chance to go down in the vault, if you were privileged to be down in there, part of the art that is down there is that moment captured in wood. And when you get a chance to see, like, it's an art museum up under the arena, bro. It's crazy good.
Never seen it.
Next time we come back, I'm going to take you down there. You're going to be like,
I'm holding you against that.
I'm telling you, like, seriously, you're going to be like, what? But it just goes to show you that those moments are always and will forever be held close to our heart here. And thank you for having them. Thank you for letting us witness them. And thank you for sharing your knowledge and your IQ here, because we're going to be milking you for everything we can get up out of you while you are here. So thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
One and only John Wall here on Postgame. We ain't done, so don't turn channel. We got plenty much going on. Anyway, I got to take a quick break, though. All right, we'll take a break and get some more behind-the-scenes conversations going on. Do want to remind you, though, something big on the horizon in the local hardwood. It's Monumental Night at Howard University on Thursday, November 13th. The Bison hosting Alcorn State. Tons of activations, some familiar faces from the Wizards and Monumental Sports Network. You can actually scan that QR code for ticket information, and you don't want to miss it. More post-game back in a moment with Jason Smith and John Wall, live from Vanda Studios. Welcome back to Postgame Live, presented by Robinhood. Let's jump in the film room. Jason, lead the way, sir.
We want to talk Alex Sarr and his ability to have vision on the floor. He doesn't necessarily have to score the ball all the time, but to slither a pass right in between 2 defenders, allowing C.J. McCollum to get to the rim. Great opportunity for him, especially as a big, to have great passing. But for him, this is what he is predicated on. Defense, protecting the paint, blocking shots, making sure that he gets his team the opportunity to get out in transition and have easy buckets. But John, he's got amazing vision out there on the floor as well.
Definitely, for sure. You see right here, pick and roll. I mean, throw the ball to him, go for a steal. I think he could have made the pass a little sooner because he's right there, but now the defense comes over. Keyshawn George slides down, get a wide open 3.
Well done. Way to knock one down, Key. You know what? It's so interesting watching these.
I think here, like, you can use them more right here. You got him right here. He gets the opportunity to go one-on-one. You got a lot of off-ball action going on. Defender looks like that. He goes right by him, get to the basket. I think you use him more very way like that because he can pass very well, but he also can put the ball on the floor.
Which is unique because as we watched this league over the last couple of years, like, as you said, there was a time when big man, you don't drive nothing.
No.
You go stand over there with your back to the rim.
Get it to him, go set a screen.
Set the screen, get out the way. Now you've seen that the game is taking on a more European approach to it. You get guys from all over the place who can play in his style. I'm curious before we get into talking about just his program tonight, because he's had now 6 games this season with 3 or more blocks. He's had 18 of those total in his career. Jason, first steps for a big man to be able to minimize the amount of effort that it takes to get to a bucket. How important is it for him to be able to learn good footwork, efficient footwork, and most importantly, that first step for Alex?
Well, it's important with the first step because it gives you the opportunity to get to the rim faster. You're not dealing with a shot blocker. You get past the defense. Plus, if you can get past the defense and possibly collapse the defense, you can open up things for your teammates. And for him, especially with his ability to dribble, his footwork inside, if he can get 10 toes in the paint, he has pivots. He has the ability to rise up over defenders. But if he's going to go out there and possibly get to the free throw line, that first step is paramount.
That first step is a doozy, straight up. So shout out to Alex Sarr for adjusting and learning in real time, developing. That's all we're asking for. Again, Sarr, 17 points here as a starter tonight. But the person who is in the locker room right now with Megan McPeak is Malachi Branham, who is always ready whenever his number is down.
Your ability to impact the game off the bench, just the stay ready mentality, where do you find that?
I practice it every day. Me and DV, we practice it every day. I get on the court. You never know when I'm going to get in, so I feel like that's just energy you got to have whenever you get in. You just got to give it all you can.
4 rebounds, but you had a couple of really nice assists. Walk me through that wraparound assist that you had.
It was just a good pass. I really don't know. You talking about the one above, right? Yeah. I got the rebound. I saw Bub, and I know he a good shooter. So he gave me my assist. I appreciate you, Bub.
Also had an impact on the defensive and the defensive mindset, especially with the way that they were trying to break you guys down and get into the paint.
Yeah.
That no give up mentality. Where does that come from, and what did it do for you on that end?
Yeah. Don't let my man score. I feel like that was just my mindset. I don't like when people score me, so I try to do the best I can to make people miss.
A lot of what you guys are trying to do, stack the positive habits. What's one of those things you can take from tonight's game as you head back out on the road?
We didn't blink. I feel like the thing is just keep fighting. I feel like we did that until the end.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Appreciate you.
Want to remind you, your Washington Wizards be back in action on Monumental Sports Network Wednesday, November 12th, when they take on the Houston Rockets. And you can tune in for pregame live at 7:30 p.m., followed by tip-off at 8 p.m. We'll be back here in a moment. Wizards postgame live presented by Robin Hood, live from Van Studios at Monumental Sports Network. Welcome back. Wizards Post Game Live. We'll take a look at the road ahead now. Let's make sure everybody understands the next game on our network. That is Wednesday against Houston. But on Monday, we're on the road against Detroit, the statistical 7-2 best team in the Eastern Conference, led by Cade Cunningham. Who wants to start? See, you ready? Go ahead.
Exactly
I need to know the scout on this, Jay. Let's go.
That coach said they got to be physical like they was tonight.
Yeah.
Well, you better bring it on Monday night, because you know why? Jalen Duran, man amongst boys, is going to be physical, and they got Isaiah Stewart back. So there's going to be a great matchup for Sarr to see if he can match their physicality.
Sticks?
That Cade Cunningham pick and roll, you better have that bottom weak side ready, because those bigs are going to be rolling to the basket with some force and effort. You got Durant, who's going to be looking to hang on that rim all night long. You got to have some sort of defensive intensity. You got 6 fouls.
Use them.
Put somebody on the ground.
And talk, communicate, which, by the way, someone has done an excellent job in their debut of talking here on Monumental Sports Network. John Wall, well done. Welcome aboard. Glad to have you here. This was fun. Sticks in it on the round as you just did. Make sure we
a lot of fun, baby.
Well, on behalf of our great crew and staff here at Monumental Sports Network, and of course on behalf of Jason Smith and John Wall, I'm Wes Hall. I look forward to seeing you back on our air on Wednesday. The next game for the Wizards is on Monday. That's on Peacock. But we'll be glad to see you here on the network on Wednesday. So until then, be well, do it for one for all for the district, and we'll see you in a couple of days. Good night, Wiz fans.